So after watching that Walking Dead episode, I personally think that the violence went just a little bit too far. It crossed the line for me personally. I'm a huge fan of violence in shows. I think that's what makes a lot of viewers watch series in general, like The Walking Dead, that is kind of around this just violence in general. It's just a very violent show. That's why a lot of people watch this series. But for me personally, I think this specific episode just crossed a line a little bit. So if I were running the network, I wouldn't reject it completely, but I would request some cuts or different camera angles, specifically camera angles, because I think that is what plays a big role in telling the story. And this episode is very much about the villain's character arc and the story of how senseless he is. And I think this episode is necessary, but I think just doing different camera angles, making it seem less like the viewer is in the capturer's point of view, with the villain looking down, and you could change those to being maybe the viewer, the watcher is like on the outside looking in and looking at both the villain and the people that are captured. I think that just changes the dynamic of the scene in general a lot, and I think just playing around with those could really change kind of the theme of the episode in general, and but still you're still keeping that violence there. That being said, it still was hard for me to watch the violence, and so I would also kind of like to play around with making it less graphic. Maybe just taking, you can hear the bat hitting him maybe, and you don't actually see it, could be beneficial and kind of draw back from like this senseless, just over the top violence, because I do get where the directors are coming from. They want to get across just how senseless this character is, with his violence and just his rampage on these people. I definitely get that, but I think there are little things that could be done that could make it just a little less over the top. Because like I said, The Walking Dead is centered around violence, so I don't think it's necessary to get rid of it completely. But I would demand some cuts and some playing around with the camera angles. So